Hello, everyone. First of all, congratulations for signing up for Toastmasters International. This is the place where leaders are made. The tagline for Toastmasters International is where leaders are made. This particular organization is a non-profit organization, an experiential educational services provider. In fact, it is one of the leading educational services provider, particularly in the field of leadership and communication. This is present in almost 70% of the Fortune 500 companies. It is present in more than 145 countries worldwide. Toastmasters International also has an alliance with Rotary International. Rotary actually, I was part of Rotary, and Rotary actually encourages its members to sign up for Toastmasters so that they can improve their leadership and communication skills as well. So today we are having the first induction session, which is live. We also have another induction, which is overview of pathways. I'll be sending you the YouTube recording of the overview of pathways to all of you because it's a 1 hour long session. So we request all of you to first go through overview of pathways and select your pathway. Now, what do you mean by pathway? Generally, by the word pathway, what do you mean? You have to answer. What do you mean by path or pathway?
Where you want to reach a
Yes,
goal.
yes. It's like a road, it's like a path, right? So same way, I call pathways in Toastmasters as the pathways to success because it offers us 11 different paths, 11 different paths to reach our goals. So depending on where we are in life, in terms of experience or in terms of our own passions and interests, we might want to choose various paths. So there are 11 different paths and each of the paths have 5 different levels. So how many levels can you do in a year? It's unlimited. It's a self-paced learning. That means you can just do one level a year every year. You could do that. You could do 2 levels a year. For example, 1 level in 6 months, or sometimes not in our corporate or in our work life. I think we find the pace is very hectic. We may not be able to do studies or self-paced learning at a regular pace. So what I typically do is I set a goal for a year. For a year, I say, okay, I'll do 2 levels. So that means even if I'm not able to do for a particular month or maybe even for 2, 3 months, I still catch up by the end of the year. The Toastmasters year starts in the month of July. Yes, July 1 is like Happy New Year at Toastmasters. We start on July 1 and we end the year on 30th of June. Similarly, when you have XCOM officers too, usually there are 2 options for XCOM officers. XCOM means what? What do you mean by XCOM? Full form of XCOM. XCOM is like a short word for a particular longer word. What is that? XCOM.
External communication.
It's actually executive committee. So there is a governing body for each and every club. Toastmasters operates in the form of clubs. So each and every club has a governing body. It's a democratic setup. In the month of June, there'll be an election. So you too can actually volunteer if you're interested in taking up any of the leadership roles. So what you call fondly as EXCOM stands for Executive Committee. Okay. So how many parts are there? By the way, it's a quick memory check. How many parts are there in Toastmasters as of now?
11.
11 parts. Very good. And each path has how many levels?
Unlimited.
Five levels. So,
Five
through
levels.
5 levels. Very good. 5 levels. Okay. So to know more about the paths and levels, kindly watch the other video, which I'll be sending to you. And based on that video, please select the path, which either it could be through a multiple choice questionnaire, which Toastmasters International provides. You can actually choose the path, or you can choose it based on your current life goal. For example, there are paths like team collaboration. There are paths for strategic relationship. There are paths for persuasive communication and many more. So if you are a beginner in the industry, we would typically request you to take up team collaboration or maybe leadership development and presentation mastery. These three are like basic ones. But if you are a more seasoned leader, say for example, Pari has 26 years of experience, for him, we might suggest he could take up visionary communication or strategic relationships, persuasive influence, etc. But then again, he's free to choose even team collaboration. He feels, no, I still need to learn from the basics. Then he's free to do that. In fact, I do that. I actually, even though we know certain things, I still want to learn it in a structured manner, right? Only thing is, Pari might find that level very easy because he has 26 years of experience. Hariram also has significant years of experience. I think those of you who have a lot of years of experience, especially 20 plus, might find these levels or these parts very easy to do. Okay, but still you'll have to do all the projects, you cannot skip. Each and every project you have to do. And if you're doing in the club, then it would be evaluated by another person and it will be there on the agenda. But if you are doing these projects in some other club, in that case, we request you to provide a copy of the agenda and the evaluation form to the VP head so that we can mark it as completed. For example, if Pari chooses to, he can go during the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, and then give a speech in a local club, community club, online or in person. Now, if he has done that, we request him to take a copy of the agenda and send it to the VP head to prove that, okay, he has indeed done that project there. Typically, what we do is we attach the evaluation forms also along with that agenda, and we send it to the president and VP head of the current club. So that's about the projects. Now we are going to focus on meeting roles and responsibilities. As I mentioned, there are two different types of things that are helping us improve our leadership skills. One is meeting roles and responsibilities. Number two is executive committee roles. Executive committee elections happen in many clubs on an annual basis, but in our club and in many other clubs of District 120, it happens on a semi-annual basis or half-yearly basis. So typically, the term is from July 1 to December end, and then January 1 till June end. That means the current ExCom's term, Executive Committee's term, is about to end by June 30th. So typically, we do the elections a month or two in advance. It's just like our country's election. Before the term ends, we need to conduct the election. That means, yes, May or June, we should be conducting the elections. The Executive Committee had met yesterday, and we decided that since many are new, we might want to conduct the elections in the month of July. In the month of June. This is after discussion with the area director. So now let me just show you using a whiteboard. If you're able to see my whiteboard, let me know with a thumbs up sign. Are you able to see the whiteboard yet? Hello? Okay, you are able to see the whiteboard. Okay. Sometimes it takes some time to load. Okay. So what we are going to see is an entity. When you say like we have database and all, no? We are from the IT world. When you say there is a table, then like a database, there are different structures in the world of Toastmasters. The independent, the smallest entity or the core entity in a Toastmasters world is club. So after club comes area. That means 4 or 5 clubs or even 6 clubs may form one area. Okay. And for that, we have an area director. I'm a former area director as well. 4 or 5 areas or even 6 areas may form a division. Area division. And we may have multiple divisions together forming an entity known as district. So our district's name is District 120. and our division name is Division F. Okay. And of course, our club name is ISTC, Infosys Shoals Toastmasters Club. But the HR said that we can rename it because this club will be now catering to the requirements of not just Sholingalu, but also Mahindra City and Pacifica and Ramanjamaitipak and probably even for Coimbatore. So that means we'll have to rename the club accordingly. We are in discussions with the HR and also with the TMI, Toastmasters International for that. Okay. So what are the entities? We have club. Many clubs together form an area. Many areas together form a division. And many divisions form a district. Now, in India, there are many districts. In the world also, there are many districts, okay? Many districts together form a region, okay? And we fall under a region called as Region 13. So Region 13 has multiple districts spread over India, Sri Lanka, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Bangladesh, etc., etc. Okay? So multiple regions together form what is known as Toastmasters International. Toastmasters International, TMI. We call it as TMI. TM is Toastmasters. TMI is Toastmasters International. Okay. And in Toastmasters, if you do several parts and if you actually hold certain officer positions and if you do certain other roles like coach, mentor, sponsor, etc., you get the highest level of educational qualification, which is known as DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster. Okay. Now, each of you can actually attain this one, Distinguished Toastmaster. But unfortunately, in the history of Infosys Shoals Toastmasters Club in the last 10 years, only one person has gone on to finish a DTM. You're actually looking at that person. That is me. So I would say it's not about talent. It's not about skill. It is just about persistence. You cannot give up. There are a lot of requirements. So you need to keep working, ticking the boxes. And it's all about volunteering as well. So you keep persevering, you can attain it. And in Mahindra City, there was another DTM who also quit Infosys, Shubhadeep. And now there is a person who was not from Infosys, but from a college club, but he attained DTM and then joined Infosys. So other than these, I'm not aware of any other DTMs here, but I feel that all of you should go ahead and change that record. We need multiple DTMs from Infosys. Why can't we do that? Right? Only issue you might face is how to balance those master responsibilities, how to balance executive committee responsibilities, how to manage the project pressure, how to manage the pressures due to our own family related commitments. Yeah, that is going to be a challenge, but that's when a true leader develops, right? A true leader develops, like I would say, you are like diamonds. Diamonds are formed, we all know science, right? Since we are from Infosys. Diamonds are formed when you subject carbon to high pressure and high temperature. So same way, yeah, you're going to have some kind of challenging situations in Toastmasters. But remember, whenever you're under pressure or whenever you feel pain, you remember that no pain, no gain. And whenever you're feeling that, okay, there is a little bit of stress, that means you're learning. So one thing which has helped me, which my mentor taught me in Toastmasters is keep your ego aside. If need be, apologize. Even to a group, yes, we make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I apologize to my son, who's probably 26, 27 years younger to me. He's a teenager. Yeah, I have apologized to him. I apologize when I make a mistake. I think we learned that lesson from Dr. Kalam as well, right? Dr. Kalam used to apologize if there was a rocket failure. He used to own up if it's even if the failure is not actually his, he says, okay, sorry, I messed up, etc. So here the ground rules are appreciate in public and give areas of improvement, especially if it is really hard hitting areas of improvement in private. So don't be taken in by the charming evaluation that you get in Toastmasters, because that's given in public. But in private, your mentor may give you further areas of improvement if you wish to. If you don't wish to, you can stop learning. You can say, no, I do not wish to hear that. But if you really want to learn, I would say call up your mentor and ask. Now tell me frankly, what should I focus on? Where should I improve? Okay. So next we are going to look at two things. One is meeting roles and responsibilities. Meeting roles and responsibilities. And the other one is XCOM roles and responsibilities. Okay, XCOM means Executive Committee, which is the leadership team which drives a club. So when you come for a meeting, right, you find that there's an agenda. Somebody has booked a meeting room or somebody has done this. These are all people like you. Nobody is getting paid here. Neither is President Lily or VP Ed Sarthi getting paid, nor am I getting paid. In Toastmasters, all of us are volunteers. It's the same principle that Rotary International also uses. If you see Rotary, you have a lot of high posts and all that. But I think Hari was in Rotary, if I remember right. Or Hari, you were in Rotary.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so you don't get paid to do any roles, but you take on the roles, and by performing the roles, you actually learn and grow. So we have executive committee roles and responsibilities, and then you have executive committee, sorry, meeting roles and responsibilities. So today we are going to focus on meeting roles and responsibilities. In the induction KT part 2, we will cover the executive committee overview. In the meantime, I'll also send you a club leadership handbook. Whenever you get time, please do go through that. Okay. So now I'm going to go through. Okay, let me erase this and then we'll go ahead with. Yeah. Okay. So any questions so far before I get into the meeting roles and responsibilities? Any questions so far? One second.
No, no, Manju.
Manju, one question. So you were talking about this pathways, right? So when I say
Yeah.
I choose a pathway, let's call it as A,
Yeah.
and I'm delivering a speech. I have to deliver a speech and outside the club.
Yeah.
So it is how that has to be recorded from the external parties and that has to be submitted to the club, and where the evaluation will be done by the president and the excom.
Now, evaluation will be done by the external club itself, but the evaluation form, there's a form available in the pathways. Once you log into pathways, right? If you please do go through my YouTube link, I'll share it today. Please go through
Okay,
that. You'll be able to select your path. Once you log, it's like an e-learning portal. Pathways is like a
understood.
learning portal where there are 11 paths. You can choose any one. Actually, you can also choose multiple paths, but each extra path will cost $20 extra. So typically we say take one path, finish it, and then go for it. But there are also people who want to do multiple paths in parallel. Hari, you were mentioning about coaching, etc., right? There is also
Correct.
coaching. Pari, for you, there are also paths like motivation strategies, dynamic leadership, visionary communication, etc. Sorry. So,
One last question.
yeah,
So would this speeches will be delivered only to Toastmaster clubs or any other
yes.
clubs like outside the
No,
Toastmaster?
only in Toastmasters team. So, you
Understood.
can do it anywhere in the world. You can do it
Okay.
anywhere in the world because there are 145 plus countries. You can do your projects anywhere in the world. You just need to
Okay.
inform the period that I'm giving it here, and you should show that agenda or minutes of meeting, and I mean some kind of proof, and also preferably that evaluation feedback from the evaluator. It's a form
Okay.
that you need to get the evaluator to fill it up. But if you're doing it in the same club, it's not mandatory.
Okay.
Because then people know, right? The VP would be aware. Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
It started with the meeting roles and responsibilities. So I think Pari and Rahul may be aware of some of the roles and responsibilities. So, Pari, would you like to share what are the roles and responsibilities what are the roles that you are aware of, Pari or Rahul? I'm just asking them, Kusumanjali or anyone else also could answer because they joined 1 month prior to you. So I just started with them.
So,
Yeah.
Manju, I'm asking about the general evaluator role and responsibility.
Yes. Yeah, general evaluator is one of the roles. Okay.
Hmm.
The first role that you see in the agenda will be SAA. What does it mean? It is Sergeant at Arms. It's not Sergeant. Pronunciation is not Sergeant. It's Sergeant. Sergeant at Arms. Okay. After that, you have PO, nothing but Presiding Officer. If you see the agenda, right? Typical agenda, you would have seen it. This is
Yes.
usually the president who plays the role. If president is on leave, next in line can be the presiding officer. That means VP Education, VP Membership, VP PR, Secretary, Treasurer, or SA. Any of those ExCom officers could be the presiding officer. If the presiding officer, it's like this. If the project managers, if the SPM is not the project manager, may act as the acting SPM. Or the PM is not the one of the TLs may act as the backup PM, right? Same way. Okay, presiding officer. The next role is TMOD, which is nothing but Toastmaster of the day. TMOD. This person is like the anchor of the meeting. After that, in many districts, different formats are there. Okay. Till here, it's the same. Okay. Sergeant at Arms, presiding officer, TMOD. After that, in many districts, for example, our district is District 120. It has almost 160 clubs. And fortunately for us, all the 160 clubs are in this, it's like in the same state in India itself. Earlier, there were districts which were spread over multiple countries. In fact, when I joined Toastmasters, it was spread over part of India, South India, and then Sri Lanka. So that means for certain conferences, we had to go to Sri Lanka, etc. Certain other districts in North India were spread over India, Nepal, Bangladesh, etc. Now that India is getting more awareness about Toastmasters, more and more corporates are opening clubs. If you look at it, most of the leading corporates, right? TCS, HCL, Hexaware, all of the other client organizations like PayPal, DTCC, all of these have Toastmaster clubs in their own offices. Apart from that, there are community clubs. What do you mean by community clubs? Community clubs are those clubs for which there is no restriction. For Infosys, there's a restriction that only current employees, people who are currently employed in Infosys, can be members of the club. Okay, even alumni are not allowed. I am an alumnus, I'm not allowed. But in certain corporate clubs, alumni are welcome. Okay, so TMOD is Toastmaster of the day. After TMOD, usually TMOD introduces the G, General Evaluator. Okay, General Evaluator. He's like a school inspector who inspects the entire proceedings of the meeting. That means, was the agenda prepared and shared? Is the agenda and the poster timings matching? Okay, venue mentioned or link mentioned. What about the brand guidelines? Are the posters meeting the brand guidelines? Like Infosys says, there are certain brand guidelines. Toastmasters also says, for example, Infosys will say you should use blue color Infosys logo or this color logo with navigating next in it, right? You might have seen in on our posters also. Same way, Toastmasters, if you see the Zoom virtual background I'm using, it's also brand guidelines specified one. The one Zoom virtual background is the one which the brand guidelines are specified. Okay, so blue, maroon, and yellow and then you have white and black. Black also only fonts are allowed, not background. White also same. Gray is the, so gray, that's why you see all our posters in blue, gray, and then maroon. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of yellow, because these are the only colors allowed by Toastmasters. Hex codes also we can share with you in a later KT. So general evaluator inspects all the proceedings. TMOD introduces the various sections of a Toastmaster meeting. What are the various sections? What are the various sections? What are the 3 sections of a Toastmaster meeting?
Table topics.
Yeah. Prepared speech, table topics, and general evaluation. 3 sections. Okay. 3 sections of a Toastmasters meeting. General evaluator will call his team, right? Will explain his role and also call his team, introduces his team. Who are the people he has to introduce?
Manju ma'am, actually, I have one doubt about the general evaluator role. As you mentioned, as a general evaluator role would be explain his role first of all, and introduction about the team. Who is
Yes.
like TMOD, who is a counter role, means what roles would be there? All roles would be described by general evaluator, right?
Yes.
So my point is this, means during the call, another regular responsibility would you have general evaluator?
No, I'm not clear on the
I'm
question.
my question is that apart from the like introduction part,
Yeah.
what would be the like another responsibility during the call by the general evaluator
Okay.
apart
Now,
from the introduction, the team and roles, the other responsibility during the call?
yeah. Rahul, can we do one thing? Can we take it up at the end of the session? We'll finish the recording and then we'll take it up. Is it okay?
Yes,
Okay,
okay.
sure. Yeah. So, a general evaluator explains his or her role, introduces his team, timer, our counter, and grenades. His role. What is his role? My role is that of observing the entire proceedings of the meeting, including checking whether all role players were present before the meeting specified time and meeting's start time. As in, the role players should ideally be reporting before the meeting, right? Not if they say 3, people should be there before 3, not at 3:05 or 3:08, which is happening in our club, unfortunately. We are all in learning stage, I would say. So ideally, they should be present, especially TMOD, presiding officer, sergeant at arms. These 3 should be there at the beginning itself. Others, because their turn to speak will come later on, they can even come a bit later. But typically, they should at least tell that, okay, whether they'll be joining in or not. Okay. So if they are withdrawing, ideally, they should find a replacement and then only withdraw. That means if I'm dropping off, I should say, okay, instead of me as the general evaluator, Rahul would be playing and I have spoken to Rahul. Rahul is okay to cover for me. If Rahul is not willing, I'll have to convince Hariram or Kusumanjali, etc. Okay. So after general evaluator, this is in our district. Okay. This is the procedure in our district. In other district, general evaluator doesn't call the tag team. The TMOD themselves will call the tag team. As I said, from country to country, sometimes district to district also, there are certain variations. There are variations. Even if you go from one Infosys DC to another Infosys DC, you may find certain differences in the procedures, etc. Right? Same way, there'll be minute variations possible. This is for our district. Okay. General evaluator explains his role. And the first section is prepared speech. Education sessions also come under this. Education sessions means you might have listened to, I think, Toastmaster Annie Juliet, Vice President of Bank of America. She had given a session on delegation. It was for 20 or 25 minutes. It was like a keynote session or a mini keynote session. Those education sessions also come under prepared speech only. Okay. So prepared speech section, and the second section, which you all are familiar, is the table topic section. Table topic section. Table topics. So why is it called table topics? By the way, table topics is a word which has for which Toastmasters International has the registered trademark. It says, if you go and Google it, it'll say R. R means that table topics word is registered with Toastmasters. No one else can use it. Why it is called table topics? It's actually impromptu speech section. Okay, impromptu speech section. Why is it called table topics? Because in olden days, when it was set up 100 years back or maybe 70 years back, there was a jar in which all the topics were kept in chips, and people used to pick a topic from the jar and speak on that. So it is called table topics. Okay, it's nothing but impromptu speech section. And it is anchored by a person known as, what's the name of the person who anchors it? Anyone? Particularly Pari, Rahul, because they were there much earlier. Who's the role player who anchors the table topics?
TTM?
TTM, very good. TT master, table topic master. Okay, TT master. Now, the third section is evaluation section. Third section is evaluation section or general evaluation section. You can also call it as general evaluation section. General evaluation section. It's anchored by general evaluator. The general evaluator will first call the G will call the speech evaluators first. Speech evaluators first, followed by the auxiliary role players. Who are the auxiliary role players? Timer, our counter, grammarian, mostly. In some clubs, we have listening master, idiom master. Some clubs even have joke master, etc., etc. There are even clubs which have toast master, one who raises a toast. They actually have a glass and all, and they raise a toast, I guess. So it depends. But in our club, we have timer, accountant, grammarian, and we have listening master as well. So that's called auxiliary role players, followed by auxiliary role players report. Okay, auxiliary role players report. And finally, the GE also presents his or her report. GE presents their report. Okay. Now, the last part is, after the GE is done, control is passed back to the TMOD. TMOD closing address, closes the session, closing address. Okay. And what happens? Passes the control to the PO. PO is nothing but presiding officer. So PO takes feedback from guests, declares the awards. Awards like best speaker, etc. Declares the awards and adjourns the session. Adjourns the meeting. It is usually adjourned to the next week. So in our club, we have on a weekly basis, so we adjourn it to the next week. In some clubs, they meet only once a month or twice a month and all. In such a case, you'll adjourn it to that, 2 weeks later or 1 month later, etc. Okay, see, these are the main roles and responsibilities. Now, Sergeant at Arms is usually played by the person. Kendrick, can you stop moving that cursor? It's little disturbing. Yeah. So meeting roles
Sorry.
are no problem. Sergeant at Arms, right? SA is usually played by the elected executive committee officer. So you see, every week it is Shakti. Right? When I joined Toastmasters, I said, I want to do SAA role. Then they told me, Manju, unfortunately, you have to be elected as the SAA for the 6 months term. Only then you get to play that role, Sergeant at Arms. Sergeant at Arms usually welcomes all the guests. If they are meeting in person, Sergeant at Arms has to arrange the room, arrange the tables, chairs, mic. If you need tea, coffee also, the Sergeant at Arms will have to arrange water. Yes, if it is a community club, even restrooms, they'll have to ensure that members have access to restrooms and all those things. So Sergeant at Arms is a person who facilitates the meeting by providing the comforts that a member may require in being seated and listening to that meeting. Okay, Sergeant at Arms. So meeting room booking, everything will come under Sergeant at Arms. Now, Sergeant at Arms also sets the ground rules for the meeting. You might have noticed Shakti doing it. He says, while the meeting is in progress, avoid distracting the speaker. Only speak only when you're called onto the stage, right? If they ask a question, then respond. Otherwise, while somebody is giving feedback, for example, speech evaluator is giving feedback. At that time, don't keep saying, yeah, I agree, I don't agree, and all that. Okay, speech evaluation, speaker should not say. You can at the max, you can just nod your head, smile, or maybe just say a thank you, or put in the chat window, thank you for your feedback. Okay, please don't respond because many don't understand. They think we can talk. No, we cannot talk. Okay, Sergeant at Arms gives the ground rules. Another ground rule in India that we follow is avoiding sex, religion, and politics. So I call that as SRP. Avoid topics pertaining to SRP. SRP is sex, religion, and politics. This is not a worldwide rule. That means if you go to US or if you go to Australia and other countries, they might have such topics too. Political, religious, or even related to, adult humor. But in India, generally, across all districts in India, and even in Middle East, I've seen no sex, no religion, no politics is being followed. I saw that the similar thing was being followed in Sri Lanka too. Sri Lanka and in Bangladesh. I think the Asian countries, right? We are following this thing. Okay. So I think that's about it. PO, as I said, is elected. Now you might ask a question, who are the ExCom officers? When you say ExCom, you might have seen posters being prepared by others, right? You've seen the posters being prepared? Yes. The first one, of course, is the presiding officer, president. Okay, you have a president. And remember, president is supposed to be a humble servant leader, not autocratic leader like Trump, Donald Trump, or like Indira Gandhi during the emergency. I'm sorry to use her name, but I'm just trying to drive home the point that many people think once they're president, they have absolute control. Unfortunately, in Toastmasters, it's not like that. It is a democratic setup. President just executes the will of the club or the decisions made by the ExCom officers and also represents the club. That's it. He or she is a servant leader. You can Google the term servant leadership. Servant leadership is different from other forms of leadership. Okay. Next one is VP Education, who is in charge of ensuring that all of you are making progress. VP Education only asked me to take this session also, so that all of you get that introduction. VP Education also prepares the agenda. Now, is VP Education the only one in charge of agenda? No. All the other ExCom officers are supposed to review the agenda, okay? Which in our club, because it's comprised of mostly new members, it's not happening yet. I have requested Kavita, if any of you are willing to review the agenda, please let us know. We can put you as additional reviewers for the agenda, etc. Next one is VP membership, VPM. VP membership speaks about the club to new members and also helps retain the old members. That means they are in charge of, they are like the HR, they talk to this, but not like HR, how HR functions in corporate. They go beyond that. They are also doing a bit of sales too, where you need to convince people to sign up. So in this club, the VP membership role was being played by Senior Delivery Manager Padma, who has some health issues due to which she has taken a temporary break. She said she'll be back soon. So she was adding members earlier. When she's not present, right? When she's not present, Sarthi took over as the VPM and I, as the club coach, I'm assisting him in that. That's the reason I might have spoken to many of you about the membership benefits. Next person is VP PR or public relations. PR is nothing but public relations. This is a person who creates any video, posters, creates awareness about the club within the organization. So newsletters or any kind of campaigning related posters and all will come under VP PR. Okay, the next role is secretary. Okay, secretary. Secretary typically organizes a meeting, keeps minutes of a meeting, shares with the members, uh, tracks all action items to closure. Okay, all action items to closure. Secretary can even remind the president, this is pending, we need to do it. Currently, Lily, I think Sarathi and Shakti, these people are doing double roles. Lily also, because it's like they have just 3-member team, so many roles they're doing it. VPPR, currently I am the acting VPPR. Ramanan has, I am not a member of the club, so my name will not figure, but I'm preparing all the posters. But Ramanan has kindly volunteered to be the associate VPPR. So next 1 month, anyone wants to learn how to create posters, videos, etc., please get in touch with me, okay? The next role is after secretary, it is treasurer. So treasurer is the person who makes sure, okay, Pari had paid 12,000. Okay, so he keeps, it's an XLS they have to maintain. How much money was paid by Pari, how much was paid to TM, and all that. And if any trophy is being purchased by the club, if any certificate is being purchased by the club, are we getting reimbursement from HR? We need to get all reimbursement from HRD of India, sorry, Chennai. So that is Saurabh, which is what our senior delivery manager, Padma ma'am, had asked us to do. As in coordinate with the HR, get funding approval, and once funding is approved, then we can buy the required items. If we need samosa, tea, coffee, etc. also, we need to go through the HR, inform them in advance. If we need mic, etc. also, facilities needs to be informed. 72 hours SLA is there. Okay. So treasurer keeps track of all budgetary things. And the last one is, not last, second last one is the SA, Sergeant at Arms. Sergeant at Arms plays the role for 6 months or 1 year. Sergeant at Arms will help ensure room is available. If AC is not functioning also, you will tell the SA only, not the president. Okay. And the last role is IPP, which is immediate past president. So currently, immediate past president is Sarathi only. So Sarathi is like doing multiple roles. So immediate past president, ideally president is supposed to take the advice of immediate past president in Toastmasters. So we are an organization governed by 4 core values. Can anyone tell me what are the 4 core values? I'll give you the initials. These are the initials. Do anyone want to elaborate? What are the 4 core values? IRSE. I'll give you a clue. If you remember Dr. Kalam, you'll be able to get all of these. I for
Integrity,
integrity.
responsibility.
Yeah, integrity, respect, and service and excellence. Okay, so it is integrity, respect, service, and excellence. So with this, now I wind up the KT. This is the first overview KT. I don't want to overshoot my time. So we'll have another part in which we'll go into greater detail for each and every role. Greater detail for each and every role. For timer accounter grammarian, I'll send you a voice recording, how you need to introduce yourself. Timer accounter grammarian. Okay. For TMOD, GE and TT also, I'll try to create a voice recording so which you can go through and kind of prepare. Okay. But if you remember this order, right? This is the order. If you see the agenda itself, you'll know the order. Sergeant at Arms, then PO, then TMOD. So Toastmaster of the day, is a theme mandatory for a Toastmasters meeting? It's not mandatory. Many have the misconception. If you were to ask Lily or Sarthi, they will say we need a theme. Theme is not mandatory for a Toastmasters meeting. But a Toastmaster of the day is mandatory. Mostly we keep theme only to attract members and yes for the meeting. We keep some theme, right? Negotiation, or we keep festival spirit, or we keep some, Diwali celebration or something like that to attract guests. It is not mandatory. The main role of a Toastmaster of the day is not to speak about the theme. Many Toastmasters, even people who have 4 or 5 years experience in Toastmasters, they misunderstand and they keep giving lectures on the theme. Their main role is to make you feel important, as in the people who have joined, welcome them. You're like the award anchors, award functions will be there, right? There'll be some anchor there. Let's now welcome Rajnikant on stage. So you're that person. So your job is not to hog the limelight or speak a lot. Your role is to make others feel comfortable and also give due respect to the people who are called onto the stage. If someone is called onto the stage, once they leave the stage, you say, wow, what a wonderful speech, brilliant, something like that. That is your role. You got it, right? Many people think, no, I have come with the theme, I have to finish it. It's not needed. Sorry. So, shall we close it here? I can continue, but I think for you, time would be a problem, right? So, shall we keep it here? I hope you have taken a screenshot of the screen.
Can you show it once again? I haven't taken.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll do that. Okay, I'm just opening that. Yeah. You can follow the agenda because usually agenda, no, we keep all the things in the agenda itself, that order. Yeah. So just sergeant at arms. People say SA, it's not correct. You have to say sergeant at arms. It's not sergeant, it's sergeant at arms. TMOD, yes, we'll have to say Toastmaster of the day, not TMOD. TTM, no. We cannot say, let me invite TM Rahul onto the stage. It's incorrect. We have to say Toastmaster Rahul onto the stage. If it is DTM, it's the highest level of education qualification in Toastmasters. It's distinguished Toastmaster. So if you see, when you see many Toastmasters, they would be using, let me now call TM Rahul onto the stage. It's not TM, it's Toastmaster. It's like DR. When you say DR, right, you don't say DR Rahul. We'll say Dr. Rahul, right? It's like that. Yes, Pari, you can drop off, no problem. We are done. If you can just take a screenshot, I think you'll get that 4 things. So we'll have an election. So before that, we'll have an induction for this XCOM officers part also. We'll have an overview KT on that. So we'll have 2 more sessions where we'll be giving overview of the roles. So if you have taken the snapshot, can I pause, close the whiteboard and stop the recording?
Yes, Manju, from my side, yes.
Okay, sure. Kavita, I think you just joined. Kavita, can you take a screenshot of this? Sure, no problem. Thank you so much. Kavita,
Yeah,
can you take a screenshot of this? Have you
Yes.
taken?
screenshot of the screen.
Yes, yes.
1 second.
Because it may help you when you play the TMOD role, etc.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I took it.
Okay. So thank you so much for joining this KT on meeting roles and responsibilities. We also had an overview of Toastmasters, how the Toastmasters International is organized. First, you have clubs. Many clubs together form an area, and many areas together form a division. Many divisions together form a district. In our case, our district's name is District 120. We are part of Division F. District 120 has almost 160 clubs, could be more because they are creating new clubs every day. So nearly 160 clubs, both corporate and community clubs. And currently District 120 is catering to Tamil Nadu. That means the Toastmasters movement has grown so much that just for one state, we are having one district. But it's not the same for all other parts of India. They're still growing. So let's keep growing. And after district comes regions, and many regions together form Toastmasters International. Whenever you see TM or TMOD, etc., kindly use the full form. Don't say TM Kavita, say Toastmaster Kavita. Instead of TMOD, I request you to use Toastmaster of the Day. Instead of G, please use General Evaluator. Instead of TTM, please use Table Topics Master, etc. Sergeant at Arms, and PO is Presiding Officer. Okay. So with this, now I pause the recording and thank you so much for joining. If you have any more questions, we'll take it after the recording has been